Živjo, Ivy here, welcome back to my channel, and let's take a look at all the books I read this month. Let's go! I read in total 5 books. 1 was an audiobook, 1 was an ebook, and 3 were paperbacks. And I have to tell you about the audiobook, which I will. I love it, and I do recommend getting an audiobook. Okay, how I set up this. I don't like the setup. I had no idea what I wanted to do. Also, me writing October, I wrote it so small. I don't know what I was thinking. I was probably exhausted because I think this was at a time I was so depressed, honestly. I don't think I ever felt like this, ever. And I guess I just wanted to make whatever just so that I can talk about the books. It's sad, honestly. I never did anything like this before. Always tried to make a little bit different, try something different. But I just went with this. Anyway, don't want to make it depressing. I want to set this up and talk to you about these 5 books. Also, write down your own books that you read. Especially if you have some type of books you like to read, like this month, like October. Like when you have certain movies you would like to watch, or series, or something. It's kind of amazing that I never, even it's October, I never went to read older books. For example, Frankenstein. Certain book that I love, which is an audiobook based on, or Picture Dorian Gray. I always go for very different books. So let's go look at these books. So my first book is my very first book by Emily. It's called Hooked, and it is a retelling. And she's writing dark romance retelling books, and this is about Peter Pan, like retelling of Peter Pan. But it's mostly, as you can tell by the title, Captain Hook. But it's more modern day, not like that, you know. Also, I kind of these books by her have been recommended by the internet a lot, and I bought them. I actually, just a minute, yeah, I bought 3 of her books, and I saw people like writing things like, when is the 6th book coming out? And I didn't even know that Emily, the author, had cancer, and she is cancer survivor. She is back. She wrote the 6th book while she was in her cancer treatment. What a woman. And I'm totally going to support that, and I will try to read all these 6 books. I will try. So, Hooked. I liked it. It was fine. Yeah, she does write very spicy books. This one was quite spicy. It's basically about Wendy and James. James is Hook. He is very vengeful towards Wendy's father, who is Peter. And the reason for that is because her father killed his entire family, and he's the only one who stayed alive. But James really had a rough life. Not just because his family is dead. No. He then ended up in the hands of his uncle, who goes by the name of Croc, who has the pocket watch that goes tick, 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 and he hates that sound, which I get it. There's a lot going on here, like it's very crime based, so kind of like mafia, that type. So there's a lot like talking about, you know, killing, stabbing, and all of that. So a lot of that is happening here. So our sweet Wendy's actually quite innocent. She doesn't know half of the things that her father Peter is doing. And James is going after Wendy to get back at her father for what he has done. Of course, they fall in love. First he thought, she's gonna fall in love with me and I'm going to use her. Oh, please, boy. You also fell in love. Yeah, then you get to... Also, certain plot twist, I didn't see it coming. It was about Wendy's brother John, because Peter Even though he's supposed to be his son, he does not spend time with him at all. Like, he doesn't even exist. And Wendy always kind of thought, why? Why won't you like spend time with John? You get to know why. I'm not gonna tell you why. But yeah, the book was entertaining. I liked it, and I can't wait to see what other of her books will be like. So yeah, I do recommend if you are into mafia kind of mafia dark romance books. There you go. Alright, we have to talk about this book. Oh my god, I was not able to sleep when I was reading this book. And I'm going to give I'm a small channel. If you're going to see this video and you would like to read books that are not just fantasy and spicy and all that, and you want like a little bit of horror or thriller, I'm going to put a name of a girl that I watch on Instagram. I got this book from her. I'm happy I read it, and oh my god, it is a roller coaster. So this is a thriller. Imagine you very young, you marry a very rich dude, and you became a stepmom to two kids who don't exactly like you. You go to Australia, and it's like vacation / he has to work, and the kids wanted to go and see like the kangaroos and koalas, of course. And when the kids were saying this, like they really want to see these animals, there are some people overheard them, and they said, yeah, you can come to our island, we have plenty of those animals there, you can go and look. Even though the other guy that was with the first guy kind of warned them not to, they gave like warnings about going to that island. To me that was already like a red flag, like okay, I'm not going there. But they went. An accident happened. It was not intentional, but it happened, and their entire life turned upside down. This is a book of survival. It is so good. So good. I highly recommend this book. Apparently, it's a series on TV on Hulu, if I remember right. I don't have that, so I don't know. And I don't think I would be able to watch it because this book kept me up late at night when I was supposed to go to bed and go to work in the morning, like really early in the morning. Yeah, there were certain things that also made me feel very uncomfortable, especially like guys saying that all the men on the island are going to R-word you, like the character Heather. That kind of made me feel like super uncomfortable. But the rest, also the ending, not exactly a fan about the ending, how it just jumps, like they escaped and then a month later, I don't know, somehow I expected the ending to be a little bit different. But overall, this book is great, highly recommend. Okay, I had this book for a while and I finally get to read it, and it is Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score, my first book by her. And it was a fun read. This is like fake dating and grumpy sunshine. Can you imagine you have a twin sister, you are that perfect twin, and then you have that other twin that constantly keeps problems, and you as a good twin try to fix it. Her sister calls her that she's in trouble. Naomi, who was supposed to get married, actually runs away from her own wedding, leaves the groom waiting for her to see if she can help her sister. But her sister is such a bee, you know? God, she was annoying. I'm so happy at the end that she did get caught and in jail. It was so funny because they're twins, and the people in that town kind of got Naomi confused for Tina, her sister, and Naomi was just so fed up with it, especially when this guy that they hooked up, I hope I'm gonna say his name right, Knox, is that how you say it, Knox? Yeah, basically he really hated Tina. He just came right up to Naomi, starts telling her to her face to get lost, that she is not welcome here. And Naomi was also so fed up. She didn't sleep. She ran away from her own wedding, and they were like head to head with each other. Great start. But yeah, they end up dating and all that. It was fine. It was okay. It was nicely written. It wasn't like super spicy. And of course, every story, for it to be more interesting, you have to add a little bit drama and fear and heartbreak. Oh, the most biggest BS that Tina did to her sister Naomi is actually never telling anybody, not even her parents, that she has a child. So Naomi kind of goes there to like help her sister when she's nowhere to be found. She actually robbed Naomi and left her daughter with Naomi, and Naomi was like, hello, what? I'm an aunt? She didn't even know, and the little girl is like 11 going 12, like seriously. But yeah, it was a fun read. I actually liked this book. The next one is that I had as an ebook is Crackle, also my very first book by Rachel, and it is so nice. I mean, yeah, even though it says that it's like horror, the horror only happened mostly like towards the ending when, you know, if you read, you know. The only thing I didn't like in this book is spiders. Like, spiders are so much mentioned in this book. It made me feel so uneasy. Also, can spiders smile? I don't think so, because it was written in that book like that. But basically it's about Annie, who moved away from a big city, I think from New York, to a really small town because she broke up with her boyfriend. They were together like 9 years, and she's kind of depressed. She doesn't know what she wants in her life, how to go on, how to connect with new people, until she, in this new town, she's a teacher by the way, she meets Sophie. And Sophie took liking to Annie. And you kind of notice that wherever Sophie goes or talks to people, people are very uneasy, kind of scared of her, until Annie then figures out why. It's a great book of like friendship, and you kind of questioning yourself what to believe, who to believe. But Annie really had to make a big decision when she started to figure certain things out about herself, and when Sophie told her what she is, and Annie didn't run away from her. In fact, they became quite friends. Annie needed to figure out if she still wants to be friends with Sophie, or that she wants to go back together with her boyfriend Sam. Which Sam didn't turn out to be the guy that she thought that he is. Like 9 years of dating, and this guy, like, he didn't see the red flags. But yeah, also our sweet little Annie has powers of her own. So there we have it. And I guess Sophie kind of saw that or felt that, and Sophie was kind of really happy to have another witch. So because people there are like really terrified of her, so she doesn't have friends. So Annie is kind of like her only friend. It's a nice friendship type of a book. It was really enjoyable. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is the audiobook and I am in love. This is Dracula Bound in Blood. And it is like a retelling of my favorite Dracula movie, which is Dracula from Bram Stoker. The movie that was like in 1992, I think, came out. It's my favorite. I love it. Just that this one is very gay and I like it. Basically, it's between two men, okay? I didn't read a book about like romance that would be like two guys or two girls. Like the last time I read a book or anything related like romance between two guys was, I think, a fan fiction, and that is a really long time ago. And I love this, like the voices, like the narrator. Oh my god, it was so good. Like if you can get the audiobook for this, get it. I don't know how it is reading the book, but audiobook, so good. So if you know the story about Dracula, let me just tell you a little bit. Basically, Vlad the Impaler, he He was like, before he became a vampire, he was like married and his wife was expecting a child, but she was not the love of his life. He was just making what people were, he was doing what his people want him to do, basically be the king, the ruler, and have an heir. But on the side, he had a lover, and it was a man. The man died in the battlefield. He lost his mind, made a deal with the demon, and he was cursed and became a vampire. And of course, for all these years and years, he'd been searching for his love to be reborn. And many were reborn, but none of them were his past lover. Until Jonathan came. Now Jonathan, he kind of knows that his sexuality, he's not into women. And he is doing, like, back in those days, that was not acceptable. So for him to hide that he is gay, he's like engaged with his best friend named Lucy, which Lucy also exists in Bram Stoker's story. But she's a great friend. She's not hurt by that they are like engaged and that he is gay and all that. She totally supports him. So she kind of did give him that push to go to Transylvania when he got a certain request, but also she was scared for him because there were some really horrifying stories going on over there. But yeah, they meet and Dracula kind of thinks is he the one, or is he his past lover? And Dracula kind of wants him to be like, he doesn't want to turn him to a basically, it's like the movie, just a little bit different. Actually, this has a happy ending where Dracula and Jonathan stay, they're in love and they're alive, while in the movie, in Bram Stoker, the love of his life actually kills him. My suggestion for this book is get an audiobook. I love it so much. And here we are back at the beginning. This is how many pages I read. I do not add audiobook. So Hooked, I added 4 stars. The Island, 4.5. Things We Never Got Over, 4 stars. Crackle, 4 stars. And Dracula Bound in Blood, 4 stars. So 5 books, that's pretty good. So yeah, that would be my little video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you give certain books a try, and if you are a book reader, do write down what books you read this month, so maybe I can add them to my TBR if they're not there already. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Ciao ciao.